Today was lucky and it was a short one. Day 27 of Karen Read's trial wrapped up on Wednesday after only a half a day of testimony. Hi, my name is Sydney Rushing. I'm a criminal defense attorney in the state of Michigan. Now let's talk about it. Witness number 5, Brian Laughlin, which was the snowplow driver, was called to the stand. On direct, Yannetti had him talk about how he grew up in Canton, that he knew the area, and how he knew all of the Alberts. He even worked for Chris Albert in his 20s delivering pizza. And on Sundays, he used to deliver pizza to 34 Fairview, so he was very familiar with the house. He was plowing for Canton Department of Public Works that evening of the incident. He was asked about the vision outside of his truck and his plowing techniques. He went by that house around 2:45 in the morning when he was plowing, and he said he could see all the way to the front door and didn't see anything on the yard or by the flagpole. He said that he is constantly scanning the road and the area, drove by about 20 minutes later and still didn't see anything. During another drive-by a little bit later, he noticed a black vehicle parked out front of 34 Fairview. And since he knew that they were first responders at that house, he didn't call it in to say, hey, come tow this car so I can plow. And again, he saw nothing on the lawn. And when he came back around about 6:15 is when he saw all the cop cars and he couldn't go through there to finish plowing. He didn't hear anything about it other than 2 weeks later when he received a call from an investigator. He never spoke to Proctor. At a later date, he met with investigators from some other law enforcement agency that was not Canton PD or the Massachusetts State Police. We all know what that means. Also took that investigator out on his route from that evening. And he is very clear that he strongly remembers that night. On cross, Brennan talked to him about none other than Turtle Boy, although he didn't name him in his questioning. He said that he didn't feel like he was being threatened and that the blogger didn't threaten him either. He said that he really wasn't familiar with this blogger, but he does follow him. He received a call from this blogger and he is aware that it was posted online. He said that he wasn't looking for attention, but attention was brought to him. Brennan questioned him about his prior testimony and said that he had changed the times about when he drove by the house. His question about the visibility. He was asked about which house had a dumpster in front of it, and he said that he didn't recall seeing one and that would have stood out. I think this was a trick question by Brennan, obviously, and Lucky didn't fall for it. He was asked if he had any troubles like paying attention and things like that, and Lucky said that one time he did hit a portable basketball hoop with his plow because he didn't adjust for it properly. He then answered more questions about his route and observations. He was asked about how he felt about the photos being posted online. He said that he wasn't embarrassed. It was just more aggravating, if anything. And he was also asked about a photo that was posted of him post first trial, where it seemed like he was being embraced versus being harassed. Then we heard from witness number 6, which was Karina Kolakithis. She is a Canton resident and is familiar with the parties. On direct, Yannetti asked her how she knew everyone, and she said that she met the McCabe's and John through their kids. She said that she saw John and Karen at the waterfall that night and that they seemed to be affectionate, even saying so far as John gave Karen a kiss on the forehead and how she thought it was the sweetest thing ever. Yannetti showed some of the video surveillance where Higgin was standing near John while he was kissing Karen. He left the bar around midnight with Jen and Karen. She said that Jen had went and wrapped her arm around Karen and said, "You're coming with me, you're coming with me," and how she thought it was a little bit weird. But as they were walking out, Karen didn't end up leaving with her and Jen. She actually left with John. She also said that she wasn't worried about Karen driving that night. On cross, Brennan asked her if this seemed to be a night of like celebration or if everyone was in a celebratory mood, and she said yes. She agreed that she saw Jen and Karen hugging at different parts through the night. She agreed that she would describe John as being kind, generous, thoughtful, and soft-spoken. She said that John was proud that his niece had gotten into a private school. There was no redirect. Then there was a sidebar and jurors were dismissed for the day. They were told that they were actually ahead of schedule. It was a short day as we knew it would be, and court was done before 1 o'clock. There will be no trial heard on Thursday as the heat is supposed to be really high, and they were already having issues with everyone being able to hear with the fans on, the AC and things like that, so they're just not even going to have court because, again, they are ahead of schedule. And that wraps up day 27 of Karen Read's trial. Thank you for being here. Thanks for following along, and I'm so glad to have all of your support throughout this whole trial. And here's your question of the day. Do you think that Lucky is testifying truthfully and that he didn't see anything? Or do you think he's testifying untruthfully in the fact that he just didn't even recognize it or didn't realize it? Let me know what you think in the comments.